Hi everyone, welcome to Divine Healing with BDevine, and I'm going to continue our little, what is it called, episodes of You Are a Healer, and many people are enjoying this. Now, as I said, last week we worked on the aura and clearing your aura, and I hope that you guys had good luck with that, because that's going to be very important in your visualization for distance healing. I also mentioned about this book called You Can Heal Your Life, and this is Louise Hay's. I think it's her first book, and she ended up becoming a bestseller after writing that, and also has her own Hay House. She runs Hay House and the own publication there. So what I was going to do was read from here just a little bit about the different, it's an A to Z of issues in our body and what the mental cause might be happening with us, and how this in turn becomes a bodily problem. Now, a lot of it's going to be a little bit raw, a lot of it is a lot of it is actually really, really accurate from what I've experienced by doing healings on people. Whenever there's problems with their skin, then it's related to somewhere else, and everything's related. So everything in your body is definitely connected. And we'll go through each little piece. I'm not going to go through the whole A to Z right now, but each week I'm going to go through perhaps a couple of body problems in here and see if we can work out whether it's relevant to us. Now, with your aura cleansing that I was teaching you in the last episode, try to practice this aura cleansing every day, because what's going to happen is that perhaps if you did the whole, going over your whole body twice, what's going to happen is you're not just getting one tiny layer of yourself. The healing of the aura is actually going right through the body and out the back. I really believe that our auras are enormous, and the energy there is just crazy. So when you are doing the healing on yourself and you're healing your body, etc., remember that is penetrating through, that light is penetrating through, so you're not only cleansing your aura, but you are beginning to cleanse all the cells in your body and all the problems that you have got. Now, when we focus this with the lessons that we can learn from You Can Heal Your Life, we're going to really start to get somewhere and start becoming excited about, being a healer. Once again, you are a healer. Every single person is a healer. And we used to do these things, thousands and thousands of years ago. We used to all heal each other. We could look at somebody and instantly see that there was a slight misalignment in the hip or the neck, or we would push this energy towards that person and heal them. I actually find myself sending healing energy out to everyone wherever I am during the day. If it's an emotional problem, you can always tell. The way that I can tell someone's got an emotional problem is the head is slightly down. So in other words, if we're just walking along the street, you'll see someone with their head slightly down and turn to the side, and you're like, okay, there's something pulling or pushing down in that aura part of the body. Now, that person will not be aware that I'm sending light. Doesn't hurt to send light. But they may have a feeling that night, oh, something's different, and that's enough for the healing to begin. So people in wheelchairs, I imagine them standing up out of the chair, all of these sorts of things, and you can do these things too. So I'll just start with the A to Z of healing your life, and we'll have a talk about what each one is, and then depending on how long I talk for, you'll have to wait for the next episode. Okay, now the first thing that I wanted to read to you guys is just a little bit about your body. It's just like a little mantra here, something that you can say perhaps to yourself. And it is, in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole and complete. I recognize my body as a good friend. Each cell in my body has divine intelligence. I listen to what it tells me and know that that its advice is valid. I'm always safe and divinely protected and guided. I choose to be healthy and free. All is well in my world. Okay, that might be something that you could put on a piece of paper, put it on the mirror in your bathroom, and you are saying this to yourself every single day. Alright, chapter 15, the list. I am healthy, whole and complete. So she mentions here, four little things to remember as you are going through the process. One of them is looking at the mental cause of an issue. So whatever is said here today, it could be true for you, although you might not have thought about it in that way. So sit quietly and ask yourself, what could be the thoughts in me that created this? Okay. The second thing is to repeat to yourself that you are willing to release the pattern in your consciousness that's created this condition. That's very important as well. Repeat the new thought pattern to yourself several times every day, and then it will just become second nature. And the fourth thing is assume that you are already in the process of healing. Whenever you think of the condition or you think of the ailment, repeat the steps. Okay, so you've just got to be willing to release it and accept the healing that's coming. So the first problem is abdominal cramps. Okay, women know all about these abdominal cramps. There are a lot of men that get them, and they come out of nowhere sometimes. If you are getting a lot of these, the probable cause is fear and stopping the process. Now, a new thought pattern for this is, I trust the process of life and I am safe. So abdominal cramps, again, is holding on to fear. So this energy creates a pocket of this hard energy where nothing can get through there. Abdominal cramps, any abdominal types of issues, and is another thing that can be a stem from grief as well. You're pushing emotions down, and especially grief or loss of somebody, and then you are afraid of life. You are afraid of moving forward in your life, and then you get these abdominal cramps. So once you are getting the abdominal cramps, the advice is to switch it over and say, I trust the process of life and I am safe. So this fear that was holding you back from your future has to stop. And the only way that can do that, only way we can heal anything in our mental thoughts is remembering that we've put those mental thoughts there, so we are able to also change this process. So this is one of the things for abdominal cramps. The next thing is abscesses. So when you have an abscess, what do you think the abscess does? It's like fermenting, and it's festering. So that would tell you a little bit about what could be going on. So it's festering or fermenting thoughts over hurts, and thinking about revenge also. Revenge is a bad word. But this is what's causing the abscesses. This is the deep mental cause of an abscess. So the new thought pattern towards that would be, I allow my thoughts to be free. The past is over. I am at peace. Now, one of the things that I'm often saying to people is, stop looking backwards because you're not going that way. Stop looking at the past because we're not going that way. But there isn't a soul on the earth that doesn't regret something or think about something or has thoughts creep up unexpectedly. And so this can turn into festering, abscesses, and excess worrying about even getting a problem can cause it to happen quickly, very, very quickly. There was a book I read once, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. And my dad gave it to me once when I was very, very young, and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't actually read it for a long time. I thought, I don't worry, what is Dad doing, And anyway, I read it, and it was about a man that was so afraid, one of the parts was, he was so afraid that he was going to get boils on his body for whatever reason. And he ended up getting boils all over his body, and he was a mess, you know. And as soon as he said to himself, what in the heck am I worrying about, the boils started to go away. So you know, our mind can create any problem in our body, and we're doing it unconsciously as well. We're doing it without even actually thinking that we are doing it. These negative thoughts are causing issues in our life. So if you're thinking about hurting all the time, and you're thinking about revenge over somebody, be careful, because you know you're going to make a festering sore inside of your body, or an abscess. So I'll do one more, and then I'll hopefully remember where I was up to for next week. Okay, so accidents happening all the time, or having a car accident, or any kind of accident that you've had. The probable cause for that is the inability to speak up for the self, rebellion against authority, and belief in violence, which is interesting. And the new thought pattern for that is, I release the pattern in me that created this. I am at peace. I am worthwhile. So the other thing is, you know, not just the first thing people think of is accidents. They think of a car accident or something like that. It could just be little clumsy things, or always doing something, you know, and going, oh, I'm always doing that, or, you know, dropping the milk, or, you know, and you're always doing these things. There is something that, you know, you can't speak up for yourself for some reason. You always feel delayed, I guess is the word. You're delayed in what you want to say and what you want to do all the time, and it turns into this unconscious little habit of having accidents. Or perhaps you're doing too much thinking while you're driving, for example, and you know, have a silly accident or something. So we release the pattern in yourself that created this. Okay, so you're now releasing this feeling, and you shouldn't really have a belief in everything bad happening to you all the time. Just let all of that go, and you will stop having these small accidents, and believe that you are worthwhile. You can do anything, you can be anything, and it all has to start from within, inside yourself. Many people say, oh, but the world is crazy, and this is happening and I can't do it. But you know, no one can hold your hand and help you to heal yourself. You know, no one can stand along beside you and say, I'll do it with you. You know, very rarely. So underneath it all, even if you did have someone there helping you, you still need to do the work for yourself and decide that you want better for yourself and that you're worth it. Very, very, I even had it myself, feeling like I was worthless, and that, you know, I wasn't worth any higher than the life that I had for myself. Or I was never going to get better, or, you know, I'll always be this way. But I've seen myself change and change and change over the years, and, you know, feel better and better, and starting to rid my body of terrible afflictions that I've had for very many years. So you can do this, and I hope that this is switching on a light for all of you here. So that's where I'm going to get up to today. We're looking at those 3 things, and you can play it back if you need to. Start writing down these thought patterns and, you know, saying them to yourself. Perhaps you could do like a little bit of, you know, meditation on these things before you begin your clearing for the day. And this is all going to be very, very important for your distant healing for somebody else. Because if you're not cleared and you're not you know, focused on the other person healing, then you're not going to get a very good response, and neither are they. You're just going to be putting more energy that's negative in their direction. With the distance healing, I want to explain that to you more thoroughly, and I will do that in the next video, but it's hard for me to explain it all very, very quickly like this. I want to make sure that you guys are getting things bit by bit by bit, and then you are going to be completely ready, and then I'm going to teach you another trick of how you can fast forward everything and make it much easier for yourself. But in the beginning you have to go the hard yards, you have to learn step by step by step, So you're completely confident when you are healing and you're healing yourself, and you are starting to feel the effects of this, and feeling wonderful and stopping the thought patterns, etc., etc. So each week we will go through the book until we get to the end, of course. And even by listening to these words, you're actually taking it on board. You're taking the energy on, and it's making a change in your life. So start believing that right now, all of the old stuff, all of the old ways of thinking, all of the old body problems are going to stop for you. Believe it right now, and that will lead you into this greatest life that you are ever going to have. And this is going to spread because people are going to be saying to you, how do you do it? What's the secret? I want to know what you're doing. And you'll be able to show them. It'll be hard at the beginning because they're going to be like you and they just want to jump into the healing. And that's okay as well if they just want to jump into the healing. But if they haven't worked on their emotions, their mental state, working on the body cells, clearing their auras and things like this, then it's not going to be as effective or long-lasting. And what we're looking for is complete change in ourselves and becoming the person that you want to be. And I'll also be doing some short visualizations as I go along, and perhaps some short meditations about getting back in connection with this perfect person, like it's yourself, in perfect health. And this will also lead us into the distance healing. So everybody, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you do put some of these meditations up on your mirror or somewhere where you can see it, and it'll start radiating throughout the house as well. And I thank you all for listening, and until the next video, it's goodbye from me. Bye.